Grant is 3-2 in his ACC tournament history. Jim Larinaga, of course, won an ACC tournament title as Miami's head coach, and this is a pretty friendly building for him, by the way. He took George Mason to the Final Four out of Capital One Arena. Quinten Post a three. It'll spin out as we're underway tonight in Washington. Nijel Pack is on the floor for Miami. Poplar, Cleveland, Joseph, Omier round out the card for Coach L. Omier and Post worth the ticket price, and Omier gets the roll, and it's 2-0.
Scoring over length isn't exactly Norchad Omier's specialty. However, he's a guy that's been able to get a good bucket here to start this one.
Corey Mason-Madsen had a strong finish to this regular season in this BC lineup, too.
He absolutely has. He's provided that shooting touch that they need from beyond the arc. Yeah, that's really where Boston College has excelled here late in the season, especially against the Hurricanes.
You see the Miami lineup, and very quickly inside, Wooga Poplar from Philadelphia is turned away. It will stay with the Kings. And there is Poplar, the junior at 6'5", who shot 38% from the floor and had 11 double-figure games against the ACC this year. Miami finished conference play at 6-14. Remember, they were preseason third, Corey, behind Carolina and Duke.
I do remember that. I believe, were they second? I think it was
second. That's right.
Yeah,
they were in the top 10 as in a late November meeting at Kentucky in the ACC SEC Challenge.
The coach talked about it. Injuries have hampered this team. They've only started 8 games in ACC play with their regular starting lineup. Outside of that, they've always had one starter missing.
Right back to Omier against McLaughlin. Kick out Matthew Cleveland. And it's 5-0 on Cleveland's 29th three of the year.
Miami already is playing with that confidence that they had before. And then they just look different.
McLaughlin, Claudell Harris Jr. And here is Jaeden Zackery on a very nice drive to get BC on the board.
But one of the reasons for that, Coach, this is the original starting lineup for the Miami Hurricanes to start this season. It was Nijel Pack, Bensley Joseph in the backcourt, with this guy, Norchad Omier, dominating the interior.
And look at Omier, just bulls his way to his second field goal.
But his strength, he knocked Quinten Post so far off that second jump allowed him to be able to tap it in easily.
Yeah, when he stays out of foul trouble, it's a big difference for them, too.
McLaughlin, here's Madsen. Post working on Omier. Fall away. Right hand hook bounds off.
Too strong for him. Couldn't get there.
Omier thought about the triple. And he'll get it to Pack. Nijel all the way through. And a kick in the corner. Bensley Joseph. Post the rebound for Boston College. BC won the 2 regular season meetings. February 17th by 8 at Chestnut Hill. And then last week, midweek in the regular season, by 10 at Coral Gables. There is a storyline pertaining to Nijel Pack in both games. 3 ball away from Harris is off the back iron. Pack did not play in the first game, Corey, and then was injured in the second game with Miami leading, only to see BC rally to win at Miami.
And WD, Nijel Pack has not scored in his last 2 games of action. Is our guy Jaeden Zackery, a.k.a. Jay-Z, who he will be referred to for the remainder of this game, gets the easy bucket in transition.
Pack missed 5 of the last 6. He only played 13 minutes in the game at Watsco Center. And he was against the Eagles.
0 for 5 in that game.
Yep.
You rewind back 4 games prior to that as Omier was unable to knock down the 3. He was 0 for 7 at Clemson.
Yep.
So he's 0 for his last 12 in the 2 games that he's played.
Madsen will fire and hit. Mason-Madsen has had 20+ against Miami and at NC State, and he's got his 55th three of the year there.
And I'm not sure Mason-Madsen has ever had a bad hair day, WD. I mean, you're talking about my guy's got a great head of lettuce right now.
Very nice, and I'm envious. Joseph loops around. Omier readies. Left it on the front rim. You don't like the shot, Jim?
He hasn't been exactly shooting it well, and he's much stronger inside. He's got 2 buckets in there, so I'm not sure why he's out there.
How about Post? You like Post?
I like it.
Okay.
I said that before he shot it, by the way. It was in the air.
No question.
So you're saying you called that? All right. Okay.
Well, I just like him shooting out there. I think he's a good 3-point shooter.
That's 8 straight, by the way, from the Eagles to take the lead. Poplar, step back over Madsen. Wooga Poplar answers.
That's what has avoided Miami the entire ACC play. If you go back to non-conference, Wooga Poplar was shooting over 50% from 3.
Yep.
He struggled during ACC play, battled injuries with that left ankle, but looks like he may have found his shooting touch coming to DC.
McLaughlin, here's Harris. Post will try again and hit. 6 for Post. They're both from behind the line. Nijel Pack launching and hits.
There it is.
He's on the board.
His first made field goal in his last 3 games played. Nijel Pack, who was still questionable. We watched Jim Larinaga trying to talk to him during their practice yesterday to make sure he was okay.
Post thought about it on the drive, and they're going to count the basket.
I don't know.
And draw the foul. Out from underneath. The basket will count. Omier draws the foul. We get a timeout in Washington. All of a sudden, Quinten Post knocks down a couple threes, Corey.
And Jay-Z with the head up. The kick-ahead pass finding the shooter, and Madsen knocking down the 3 ball. And then Quinten Post from the top of the key. It was so nice, he had to do it twice. When you're great,
play. Jim Larinaga and Miami, of course, now in his 13th season at Coral Gables. Corey, you said it, picked 2nd in the preseason, started 11-2, finished on a 9-game losing streak to end the regular season and a 4-14 mark in 18.
But though there were concerns in those 2, when you think about that 11-2 start, those 2 losses, one a blowout loss at Kentucky and also getting blown out in New York City in Barclays by Colorado. Yep. So there were concerns coming into ACC play, and then the injuries hit, which derailed their season.
Michael Nwoko, a freshman from Toronto, is coming to the lineup. He replaced Omier in a Miami turnover. Post collects. Quinten, by the way, has got the last 9 BC points. Madsen a pull up. Bounced away, and Nwoko slapped it out of bounds. Ted Valentine says it will stay with the Eagles. He's on the whistle with Justin Porterfield and Tommy Morrissey here in our 3rd game.
Teddy working his 56th tournament here. But he's told me already he's coming back next year, so I guess it doesn't matter.
Nope. Portal for Ted. He's good. 6 minutes in. Wooga Poplar a spot up. Zackery runs it down. Corey, how'd BC get this? Obviously, Post has been huge scoring, but Eagles playing with a little more comfort, it feels like.
Well, they've already knocked down 3 3-pointers in this game, 2 from Post, and Madsen knocking down 1. So when you think about the strength of the Eagles, and normally it would be their defense. Earl Grant, a coach who hangs his hat defensively, but it's been their 3-point shooting this season that's helped them out.
11 straight for Post. The lead is 5. There goes Poplar into traffic. Nwoko can't finish with Post defending. Earl Grant, you heard him at the top. Give yourself a fighting chance. All we have to do is advance. Prince Aligbe, backdoor here. Zackery scores.
Nice offense by the Eagles and the cut from Zackery, but more importantly, the pump fake to get the shot blocker in the air. Got a little contact on that one, but not enough for a foul.
7-0 run by the Eagles, and we're 7 into the first half. Cleveland working against Prince Aligbe. Sophomore from Minneapolis. There's a kick into the corner, and a 3-ball is an air ball from Wooga Poplar.
WD, you talked about Earl Grant saying give themselves a fighting chance. Well, right now, Boston College took the first punch from Miami. Now they're punching back. How will Miami respond after getting punched in the mouth? Because this has been Boston College for the last 6 minutes of this game, getting whatever they wanted on the offensive end.
Foul was going to be on Poplar, and that'll allow some substitutions to be made. Harris goes out. And Donald Hand Jr.
Hey, nephew.
6'6" freshman redshirt. Virginia Beach, Virginia checks in for Boston College and Earl Grant. And here's Omier coming back. And we get Paul Jobé, 6'7" freshman from France. There is Donald Hand Jr. A legacy, if you will, at the ACC tournament.
He absolutely was. His father was recognized as an ACC legend back when we used to do that. And right now, 13 points for Quinten Post already in this game.
Quinten Post going to be an ACC legend.
Off one game.
9-point lead for BC, coach, and a timeout because, tell you what, Miami's seen enough here. The fighting chance that Earl Grant asked for, well, his team has responded in the early rounds in 101 here, Jim.
Good pass to set it up. Post is good in the post. He has good footwork, but he uses both hands. He goes to look, comes back with his left hand. And the ability to use both hands, the time before he went right, now he comes back left. His footwork is good, but it's the ability to use both hands is why he's good down there. Again, I think he's an underrated player, and BC has had some really good success this year, but then they've played some games that you kind of wonder what happened. Because they got a veteran team, and they got guys that know how to play. They've got shooting. They've got the inside presence. I think it's a little surprising that they haven't even been better this year.
Corey, 9-point lead. Post has got as many as Miami does.
Yeah, he's been spectacular throughout this game. And, Coach, I can tell you why they haven't been better. It's because this league has been really good.
Well, nobody wants to say that. That's the problem.
But you and I have said it all year, and this is an example. I watched this Boston College team beat St. John's, who is a team that is right now on the cusp of getting into the NCAA tournament. But I actually called the game where they beat St. John's in New York City.
Madsen, another three, Corey.
Again, that has been the thing for them, especially against Miami. They shot over 40% and now on a 12-0 run, and most of the damage is being done from beyond the arc. Already 5 made three-pointers for the Eagles.
And a held ball will stay with Miami.
Forgive me, 4 of 8 from beyond the arc.
And when the league has gotten those wins, it's almost like they're ignored, like it didn't happen. And they happen.
So BC, a 12-point lead with 11.5 to go. Don't forget our baseball game of the week coming up on Saturday, 4 o'clock Eastern. You'll get the middle of 3 games presented by Auto Owners Insurance. Tom Walter in Wake Forest. Visit Brian O'Connor in Virginia. Saturday afternoon, 4 o'clock, right here on ACC Network, always streaming for you on the ESPN app. Keyshawn George, the freshman from Switzerland, launching a 3 out of the corner. He appears on the floor for the first time with 11.5 to go here. 12-point lead for BC. They're on a 12-0 run in the last 3 minutes. It's 15-3 total. Post with 13, going for 15, and fouled by Omier, and that'll be his second. And that's not good news for Jim Larenega's Hurricanes with 11:10 to go here in the first half.
But a smart basketball by Earl Grant and the Eagles, recognizing that Omier already has 1 foul. You want to force him to defend. And Quinten Post did not settle by shooting the jump shot. He attacked the basket and was able to pick up the foul.
He just stuck his hand down a little bit. He had good position. He should have just held it.
Yeah. Post has got 14. He's 2 for 2 at the line. Omier's got 2 fouls. He's going to stay in the game. And this goes back to something you said in game 1 or game 2 here today, our first, about playing a big man with 2 fouls here.
I think Coach has nobody that can guard Post except for Omier. So if he brings somebody else in, they're going to just go right at him. I think he's got to take the gamble here and play. They're taking Post out, so that relieves that problem a little bit. But you know, you can't let the game get. They're 14 down. They can't let it get a lot more or any more, really.
Yeah, 27-13. Here's Pack trying to get through traffic and a reach in. I believe on Hand, and it is. That'll be his first. That is only the first on Boston College here with almost 9 minutes gone. So Nijel Pack, Corey outlined the injuries, missed 5 of the last 6. He only played the 13 minutes against Boston College last week. And then I didn't think, and I'm no doctor, that he looked 100% yesterday. Did you?
No, I didn't think he looked 100% yesterday. And again, Nijel Pack, who is in his 4th year, could be finishing his college basketball season career, also has the opportunity to come back next year. But as we've talked about a number of times, when that finality starts to come into play, that can push you to get back onto the floor even when you're not 100%.
He snapped the 14-0 run by BC, but only hit 1 of 2. Eagles still leading by 13.
But now, Coach, this is what you talked about before. Miami dropping back and playing. It looked like a zone originally.
It was in the beginning. Now they kind of went back.
but this is dangerous when you've got Omier playing with the 2 fouls. There's the nephew.
Jaeden Jr. knocks down the 3. His 25th of the year, keeping the family tradition at the tournament going. And there's the drive and bucket for Omier. 6 for Norchad Omier. He is Miami's leading scorer. The Canes trail 14.
He's so difficult to guard off the bounce. And once again, a zone look for Miami. Will they stick with it, or does this change into a man-to-man?
Well, you got Madsen out there. Hand just hit one, Corey. Here's Madsen setting up another. Spins out. Omier the rebound.
I'll tell you what, $1 million move, only 10-cent shot, but it was beautiful to get there.
George cannot answer. Earl Grant's team, maybe a rocky first 2.5 minutes. After that, they have settled right in.
Yeah, and you see Bensley Joseph calling out, putting up the number 2, which normally signals zone. But for Miami, they are moving into a man-to-man, which is, of course, always dangerous when you're trying to protect someone playing with 2 fouls.
Madsen with 5 to shoot. Baseline hanger, short. Cleveland and Miami now. Tries to get something going. Here's Omier in transition, and he'll throw it up there. We're going to get a block call on Boston College. Eagles thought they were going to get a travel. Tommy Morrissey finds the foul on the sophomore from Toronto, Armani Mighty. It'll be his first and the second on the Eagles.
Now, Coach, I'm sure it was his regularly scheduled time to take a break. However, if you're playing with Quinten Post the way he's playing right now, and Norchad Omier picks up his 2nd foul, are you taking him out of the game?
You know, I don't. But, you know, you can't coach somebody's team for him. I mean, Coach Grant thinks he needs a rest right there, and maybe that's good. Maybe he'll come back stronger. If I got a guy like that, I'm going to go to him one more time for sure and just see what happens. And, you know, Omier's got 2 fouls. He's not going to play him really hard. And I think you go right back to him a couple times and see if you can space it out a little bit more. Then you give him a rest.
8 for Omier. 12-point lead for Boston College. They went back to Claudell Harris. He's returned to the lineup. So is McLaughlin. Zackery trying to maybe look to the post. Here's Armani Mighty setting a screen for it. And Omier reached in, knocked it away. Here's Joseph down the floor. McLaughlin blocked it, but a foul first, I think, on Claudell Harris.
WD,
it'll be Harris's first, Corey.
If you remember, what was the lead when Quinten Post came out of the game?
I think it was right around 13 or 14.
I think it was 14.
14 points. Yeah.
A 14-point lead. So as Quinten Post comes to the table right now to check back in, Miami has a chance to have cut all 4 points of that lead with Bensley Joseph at the free throw line. But more importantly, what you've allowed is for Norchad Omier to stay on the floor without having to defend very much with Post on the bench.
But that's getting ready to change now. And Joseph only got 1 of the 2. Let's see how this possession goes, right?
Well, I mean, again, when you bring him back into the game, in my opinion, he has to get it immediately.
Yeah, 100%.
Zackery into traffic, hesitated, and scored.
Or you can just get a basket.
8 for Zackery on his 4th field goal.
But Norchad Omier had to be aware of where Quinten Post was on that, which opened up the lane for Jay-Z.
Oh, yeah.
In the corner, Pack. 3-ball good. Nijel Pack with 7. He and Omier doing the bulk of the scoring. They've got all but 7 of the Hurricane points here in the first half. Here's Post. Zackery. 8 to shoot. Skip for Harris. 3-ball. Bounced away. Post will commit the foul. First on Post, 4th on Boston College, but Earl Grant's team, who's won a couple in a row here in a 17-14 campaign, They got 4 wins on the road in the ACC, too, by the way.
They're the only ACC team playing on this Tuesday that are coming in with a win. They're on a 2-game winning streak.
Yeah.
All the other 5 teams lost their last game. So right now, this Boston College team has a little bit of momentum coming to D.C.
10-point game. Pack trying to cut into it again. Long rebound, Omier. Joseph right back at Post. Omier the recovery, can't score it. McLaughlin underneath. Madsen. Here's Post. Big man with a handle. McLaughlin back for Post and a foul. That's going to take us to a break on the Cleveland foul, but Earl Grant, 47 years of age, coaching in his 3rd ACC tournament. He told the Eagles, just take a deep breath.
You need to take a couple deep breaths and relax. We need to relax and play.
The legends that have come from DeMatha, including one of the ACC's best, Danny Ferry, the Duke legend, and all that has happened coming out of DeMatha. We can go down the list. Prior to this, we talked about Derek Wittenberg, Sidney Lowe,
yeah.
So many, BJ Anya, so many different guys who have come from the school alone. And of course, Adrian Dantley may be the best of them all.
Yeah.
Morgan might be among the best coaches I've ever seen. Forget high school. I'm talking about coaches. Him and Bob Hurley, Gary McKnight from California, those 3 guys, they could coach anything, anywhere. They were just unbelievable basketball coaches.
Yep. You walk into this city, you realize the impact that metropolitan Washington, Northern Virginia, Maryland has had on the college game through the just terrific high schools.
Well, WD, there are statistics to support this. As Quinten Post has another block shot, he averages close to 2 a game.
Madsen misses the 3.
The statistics report that the DMV area produces more Division I college basketball players than any other area in the country.
Wow.
This is a hotbed for basketball talent.
Keyshawn George on the floor, Nijel Pack. It's a 12-point Boston College lead, under 7 to go in this first half. Post got a hand on the pass toward Omier. Here's McLaughlin keeping it alive. 3-point deep from Post, spins out. George, Cleveland. Miami needs a basket. 0 for their last 5, make it 6. And a reset with Pack, trying to take hand on the drive. Into traffic, what a shot. That is almost vertical on the stretch out.
Yeah, that's great offense beating really good defense. Donald Hand played that perfectly. However, Nijel Pack's offense is able to get him a bucket.
That's 9 for Pack in this first half.
Back in the zone, trying to change the tempo a little bit.
Harris.
Now they go back, man, they really start out in zone, then kind of switch it up.
How about Hand's drive? Couldn't finish. Post recovers. 2 guys there. Madsen open at the front. Left it on the rim. Nice save by Hand. BC gets a 3rd crack and a foul on George. Jim Larinaga not happy at all. 2nd or 5th foul on Miami. It's the 1st on the Swiss freshman Keyshawn George. How about this shot?
Yeah, Nijel Pack attacking. Going through the body of Donald Hand Jr. The concentration to be able to finish off the glass.
Good offense, like you said. He leaned in a little bit and got some space and got the shot up.
So 10-point lead for Boston College. 5th foul on Miami, 4 on BC. Post missed badly off the baseline. McLaughlin for the rebound, and an offensive foul called as he knocked over Ja'Kai Robinson, who's come into the ball game.
Ja'Kai Robinson, who played his high school basketball in the area, National Christian High School. And Ja'Kai going to walk away, got to shake that one off, because one thing, if anyone looks and says, well, that was in the restricted area, however, it's a primary defender. Yeah. And Devin McLaughlin absolutely created all the contact on that one.
Here's Bensley Joseph in traffic scoring. First field goal for Joseph. Miami to within 8.
WD, you see Bensley Joseph getting on the floor.
Yep.
Forcing the turnover.
Omier against Post. Can't finish. Post picks up the rebound, saves it for Zackery. The lead for BC as big as 16 in this first half at 30-14. But you see it's a 12-2 or 12-4 run here by Miami to get back in.
Bensley Joseph may be Miami's best competitor. As Claudell Harris knocks down the three, but this game is different. Bensley Joseph is from Boston.
Yep.
It means a lot more for him in this game, especially for the fact that Boston College has beaten his Canes twice this year.
Cleveland has just not really found his rhythm this year at all.
Tap follow, McLaughlin. Devon's first basket of the ball game. Back to a 13-point spread. Miami's hit just 2 of their last 10. George, foul line leaner. Good.
Nice patience by George getting into the painted area, using the pump fake, coach, and then the soft touch.
Good move. He's going to be real good. He's still young. He still makes some of the freshman mistakes that you would expect, but he's got the length and talent to be a really good player.
Yeah, I think the question with him is, where is he going to be really good? Is it going to be at Miami, or will it be in the big association?
Yep. Omier, here's Joseph. Zackery got knocked down, no whistle. BC bench thought there should have been. Omier, the three that Post has chased down. Tell you what, Quinten Post has shown me a lot of stick-to-itiveness and get around the basketball stuff here in this first half.
Well, and we saw the discrepancy in strength between he and Omier to start the game, but then he stepped out and shot the basketball very well and showed off his discrepancy in skill.
11-point lead. Cleveland a fall away.
That's a tough shot.
Yeah, it is. And maybe not the highest percentage for a team who is now 31% in the first half. Miami 10 of 32 from the floor, Coach.
And they're lucky. Boston College has missed 4 or 5 wide open threes that this game could be already out of reach if they were making those. They're getting good shots.
Look at this. 2 passes off the screen, Corey.
Beautiful ball movement and the great presence of mind by Quinten Post, recognizing the help was there, but knowing his teammate Devin McLaughlin would be cutting to the basket. That only comes from experience and guys playing together for quite some time. Robinson
Against Harris. Into traffic. Tried to scoop it up. Almost bounced in. BC will run it down.
Same team.
Yep. McLaughlin and Madsen almost gave it back.
But, Coach, you notice how all the loose balls, all the hustle plays have gone to Boston College to start this game.
Pretty much everyone.
Madsen, head of the circle. Threw it away to Cleveland. Turnover number 5 on BC. Here's Cleveland roaring to the basket for the hoop. Second field goal from Matthew Cleveland.
That's so much better. You know, they're settling for jump shots, and they can get to the basket, and certainly Cleveland especially can.
And a timeout's going to be taken here by Boston College.
And we've been celebrating anniversaries today. Today is 63-year anniversary of when our guy went 25 for 25 in a free throw shooting contest.
Where did that come from?
Well, look at this. More anniversaries and more celebrations.
Hey, tell Buddy that my guy's name is Big Jim Boeheim, though. They started off with Big Jim Boeheim.
Look at that. Easy to communicate with during the game, as Jaeden Zackery finds out. And we welcome you back to Washington. Boston College an 11-point lead on Miami.
And it would be a lot more. They've missed probably 6 out of their last 7 threes wide open too, so that it could be worse.
BC almost at nearly 50%, Corey.
Once again, zone defensively.
And then now they're switching back out of it. It's a different kind of zone.
Claudell Harris over the top of it for a triple. Making his debut in the ACC Tournament. Claudell Harris Jr. was 6 in the first half. Transfer from Charleston Southern out of Hahnville, Louisiana. 90 seconds to go and back to a 14-point lead for BC. It's been as big as 16, and George trying to answer.
But the difference is Boston College has moved the basketball, Coach. They've shared it. They've created opportunities for teammates. Miami has tried to go one-on-one a little too often and create the offense on their own.
Now, Boston College has played way better offensive basketball. If they'd have made a couple more threes, the game would almost be over already.
Here's Post. And now Harris again. Another 3, that one out front. Cleveland had it, and McLaughlin got a hand in. Justin Porterfield says it will stay with Miami. Jim Larrañaga played for the great Jack Curran, and then went to Providence. Of course, he was an assistant at Virginia in the early 80s with Terry Holland, then went to George Mason, won 273 games, went to the Final Four 18 years ago.
Coach Curran was a great basketball coach and a better baseball coach.
At Archbishop Malloy, there a few players came out there, by the way, Corey.
Yeah,
one by the name of Kenny Anderson.
Yeah, Kenny Smith wasn't bad either.
Yeah.
5 to shoot.
Ooh, that's Pack. A nice headsy.
And a basket for Nijel Pack. He's had a couple beautiful takes.
Yeah, but he stood Quinten Post up on the perimeter, let him know, hands up, keep him there.
No differential. Riding it down the final 20 seconds of this first half. Eagles with a 12-point lead. It's been as big as 16 in this first half. And Harris with 10 to shoot on the dribble. Into the corner, there's Zackery, a three. Got it. 11 for your man, Jay-Z. And at the horn, Pack from the midcourt stripe is short. Quite an answer by Earl Grant's team in this first 20 minutes, guys.
They were just more consistent and really moved the basketball, got good.
Nijel Pack did what he could to try and guide Miami back into the water.
Nijel Pack, 11 points for him in the first half of this game, but the most telling stat of that first half, Boston College had 10 assists. They're sharing the basketball. They're doing it as a team where Miami's had to do it as an individual. When you think about the 11 points for Nijel Pack, think about how difficult they were and the tough shots he had to make to get that bucket.
Start of the second 20 minutes. Claudell Harris, a lob, tried to go back to McLaughlin. Play got disrupted. Next thing you know, here's Miami at the other end, and Pack readies. And tapped home by Cleveland.
And those are the type of plays that Miami was expecting to get from Matthew Cleveland. The hustle plays, the energy plays was, of course, that's how he played at Florida State, though.
Yeah, he hasn't played that way this year. He's had some sparks, but not consistently.
Zackery's got 13 on his first field goal of the second half. 15-point difference. Miami comes in losing 9 straight, 10 of 11. BC, by the way, 47 points in the first half. Equals the most points in a first half in the ACC tournament in the Eagles' history.
Well, defense has been a struggle for both these teams this year. However, it's been more of a struggle for Miami as Norchad Omier is able to get to the jump hook over top of the length of Quinten Post.
He had double-doubles in each of their last 2 regular season games. He's a couple of rebounds off from making it 3 in a row.
So, WD, I did the math coming in.
Yep.
He has 296 rebounds in 30 games coming into this one.
Yeah.
Needed 14 today to be able to average a double-double on the year. Needs to have 14 rebounds in this one.
He's on the drive, and he's got another field goal. So Miami's got a little bit of want to and get back here at the start of this second half, fellas.
Yeah, and they're following the lead of their best player, Norchad Omier, who does not want his season to end here on Tuesday of the ACC Tournament.
Post inside for McLaughlin.
A high-low, that's a great set when they get McLaughlin high, him low. They haven't done that in this game, but they have done that in a lot of games this year, and inverting the guys. One low, one high, then switching it.
But it benefits when you have a great passer like Quinten Post at the top of the key.
Yeah, absolutely.
Boy, Pack finally drops in a bucket, so you've gotten Cleveland on the board. Omier's picked up a couple baskets. Now Nijel Pack chips in. He's got 13. The lead's still 13, though, for Grant's Eagles.
Well, Miami's got to get a stop, and whoa, that's a trip.
And a trip will be called here. And a look back at Nijel Pack here.
Nijel Pack got off to a great start, a young man who did not have a basket in his last 2 games, but was able to step up, knock down the 3-ball early, 2 for 4 from beyond the arc in the first half. And then the hesitation, hands up, forcing Quinten Post to jump because you respect the jump shot, getting to the rim, taking on the contact and finishing.
Jaeden Zackery, by the way, 11 here in this ball game, or 13 rather in this ball game, will go to the line off the Cleveland foul. And it'll rattle around. Zackery, pretty good free throw shooter at 83% coming in.
Yeah, he's a veteran guy. The thing with Pack going back there, when he is right, he's a 20, 25-point guy. And when he's not doing that, Miami just is not the same kind of team. Just too many injuries this year, too many guys. Cleveland's out, Pack out, Omier's in and out. I mean, they just had all their key guys have been out, and they don't have a lot of depth.
Well, and one of the things that they don't have also is that veteran leadership that they've had in the past. When you consider not only the ACC Player of the Year and All ACC, I mean, on Isaiah Wong, but All ACC Jordan Miller as well, who I thought should have been the Player of the Year last year, WD. But it's Harlan Beverly, it's Anthony Walker, it's the veteran guys that they had off the bench. They lost all 4 of those guys, and they lost a lot of leadership.
Well, I thought Miller was the most underrated player in the league by far. Those 2 years, he rebounded, he blocked shots, he made jumpers, he posted up, and a good passer and a good defender. Yeah, I mean, he was a big key. I mean, Miami went to the Final Four.
Well, and the Elite 8 the year before that.
Yeah.
But the biggest problem, in my opinion, Coach, is when you do that, there should be guys that are watching. Those freshmen should be watching, and they should understand the way things should be done, how the leadership should happen. So for Wooga Poplar, for Bensley Joseph, who were freshmen and played 2 years with those guys, they should have taken on that role this year.
I just don't think they're as talented as those guys. I mean, Isaiah Wong's a killer in the G League, and Miller's really good. So, I mean, they're 2 special players. I mean, they're all league players.
Canes have gotten 10 points on 5 field goals. Pack another driving score to cut it back to 14 here. BC deserves a lot of credit here for playing with the ferocity that Grant talked about to them in the locker room. We heard it before the game. The fighting chance opportunity. Take the deep breath. Here's Poplar, or Lee left the 3 short. Miami will get a second chance. Here's Cleveland trying to answer from the corner. He'll leave it short. A 3rd try is the charm for Cleveland. He's got 9 now. Miami going to offer a little backcourt pressure here. It's not a press. It's, hey, we're just hanging back here to make sure you tend to your knitting.
But that's concerning to Earl Grant when you watch a team get 2 offensive rebounds and an easy layup afterwards, and give Miami a lot of credit for coming in and fighting in the second half.
Zackery couldn't hit the layup.
You got to pick him up now.
Now Cleveland gets it to Bensley Joseph. 15 to shoot for Miami. Canes have hit 6 of their first 11 here in the second half. Joseph on the drive, gets the bounce.
It's so much better getting to the basket instead of settling for the 3, and they're almost back in it. If they can get a couple more stops, they'll be back in it.
6-0 run, Coach.
Miami seems to be playing with a little more energy, a little more burst than Boston College to start this second half.
Here's McLaughlin. Got an advantage inside. Went up strong, lost the handle on it, and here's Miami with Poplar out of there. Back to the trailing Cleveland. And a foul on Devin McLaughlin. That'll be his second. Redshirt sophomore from outside of Atlanta gives Boston College their first foul and brings us to a timeout. And boy, this is a heck of a one. Now coming up Wednesday night, 7 o'clock tomorrow night from Tallahassee. Number 15 Alabama in town. Number 18 Florida State. All for you on ACC Network, streaming live on the ESPN app. Lonnie Almeida's got a terrific program in Tallahassee. And we'll have coverage for you tomorrow night of the Tide and the Noles. Miami trying to make a run here. Canes on a 6-0 run. BC in a scoring drought that's lasted a couple minutes, and there's a Miami turnover.
And the worst time to turn the basketball over after a timeout when you've drawn up exactly what you want to get on the offensive end.
Nwoko in the ball game replacing Omier, and here's Post to work, guys. Quinten skips out. Harris, a catch and shoot 3 is short.
That's tough not to be able to step into your shot. That catch was high, and to try to gather and shoot that one, no wonder hit the front of the rim. Tough
Pack
shot on Harris.
Nijel Pack's ready to take it on now, Corey.
I mean, again, that's what he does, though. Again, if he's not being aggressive, he's not helping you. His shooting ability opens up so many opportunities for his teammates.
Madsen, 3 offline. Zackery tried to battle for it. That might have hit Cleveland. It sure did. Oh, Justin Porterfield said touch last by BC.
Yeah, it did hit Zackery on the way out. Cleveland did knock the basketball off of Zackery's leg, so that's why Miami will get it back. But Miami playing with momentum, but they've got to find a way to get this thing under 10 and keep that momentum going.
And Wes, you're not getting your referee patch either. That was a horrible call.
Thanks, Coach.
but yet you have not been negative toward the officials.
No. They're getting them right tonight.
3 ball away, back rim. Recovered Joseph, another offensive chance. That one not converted. Miami did get a basket on a 3rd try at the offensive glass, but that time, and here's Post catching, and it drops in. He's got 19 now.
I don't know why.
Or 21 rather, beg your pardon.
Miami is settling for the 3 when they can get to the basket and have gotten to the basket.
Or create those inside-out opportunities where you attack the paint and then kick out to your shooters after the help.
Cleveland wanted to find some. Oh, look at this. He spun out of it and then missed it.
Made a great move and threw an air ball.
But Matthew Cleveland did that to himself.
Yeah.
He was complaining about no one moving, and he finds himself open and has a layup and then airmails it.
I wonder if he complained to himself.
Zackery with 7 minutes gone here in this second half. BC back by 12. Harris skips here for a league bay. Bounce pass, McLaughlin, nice cut. Couldn't finish. Post keeping it alive and fouled on the play. I think that's Poplar. And Wooga Poplar, his second, 3rd on Miami. And that's going to put Post to the line. He's got 21 on 7 of 13 from the floor. He's hit a couple of threes and has 9 rebounds.
Well, he's got such an advantage down there with Omier out of the game. So they should be going to him, or he's going to get the offensive rebound if they miss.
Free throw by Post is good. Don't forget women's lacrosse coming up on ACC Network on Saturday. Noon start for number 9 North Carolina and number 7 Syracuse. And then the men's card, number 2 Notre Dame. Coach Cargan and the Irish welcome Michigan to South Bend. That's Saturday on ACC Network, streaming live on the ESPN app.
And as we've done our lacrosse, our softball, and our baseball highlights, I'm trying to think to myself, which of those 3 sports is the most difficult to play? And for anyone who thinks that softball is easy, they need to stand in and see just how fast that ball is coming at you from a short distance. Those young ladies are bringing the pepper.
Well, the best games to watch are lacrosse. It's a basketball type game to watch, and it's a great game.
Here's Pack with 3 to shoot, working on Zackery all the way into traffic, and a shot clock violation. BC gets the stop, Corey.
Yeah, and BC stepping up defensively as well. As Miami's tried to get within 10 points, Boston College has come back with a number of stops. And, Coach, as you mentioned lacrosse, I didn't say it, but it was brought to my attention that maybe you were at Syracuse around the time when Jim Brown was playing. I don't know.
I was in high school. I might have been in junior high school.
Okay, junior high school. But we know that Jim Brown, of course, one of the best lacrosse players to go along with one of the best football players of all time.
They all say that the old timers all say he was the best. And Gary Gate was pretty close. I saw Gary Gate. But Jim Brown, they had to change the rules for him. He put the thing to his chest, and they couldn't get it away from him, and then he just went down and put it in.
Hey. Harris goes down on the baseline. That's going to get us to a break here at the under 12. Corey, we have a thought bubble for you. I'm getting crushed by the DMV.
You know what?
What?
And it's not my fault.
He's a second-team All-ACC player. Corey, you've noted he's got a year to go if he'd like, right? The numbers here are captivating, especially when you consider he's a 6'7" guy, and tonight he's playing against a 7'1", 240-pound post guy, Jim.
Well, he's a perfect guy with the NIL. He'll make more money in college than he will probably because he looks like a G League player. He'll make more money in college. He should stay another year at college.
Here's Keyshawn George, and a reach and a foul called. And that is going to be on a league bay. It'll be his first, second on Boston College. I'll tell you what, the 6'7", though, at the post in today's college basketball, that's noticeable.
It is definitely noticeable, and it puts you in the mind of a number of guys who have made the transition to the gridiron when their college basketball careers were over. However, in my opinion, I think Norchad Omier is much better as a basketball player than the guys that we've seen. You see the offensive rebound by Omier, and then the vision to find Matthew Cleveland at the top of the key who knocks down that 3 ball.
Yep.
But the guys who have made the transition, you start thinking of Jimmy Graham, Tony Gonzalez, you know, all those guys. Very good basketball players, but not all ACC like Norchad Omier.
Plus, Norchad, those guys played high school football. I don't know if they have that high school football in Nicaragua.
Yeah, no,
Omeir's a baseball player in Nicaragua.
Grew up in Nicaragua playing baseball. And again, it's a different mentality when you go out there and put that helmet on. WD, you work in the NFL.
Yeah.
I mean, just talking to guys who are willing to go out there and put their body on the line like that, that's different than basketball contact.
And he traveled coming out of an offensive rebound. Thought he got held. And Ted Valentine going to stick with it. No, Norchad going to litigate, but to no avail here.
There you go. Rocking the Nicaragua.
Yep. And that's a double-double, by the way, for Omier. A dozen points and 10 rebounds, despite the turnover on the travel.
Yeah.
Larinaga.
He didn't like that call, I guess.
No. Jim is, you know what, 74 years of age, and some people, he said earlier this week to the field of 68, he's going to coach next year. I think.
No reason not to.
I was getting ready to say, I had not heard that he wasn't going to coach, Corey.
Well, one thing I can tell you for certain, he's not going to go out the way this has gone for the Miami Hurricanes down the stretch.
Whoa!
They're, you know, every time you have a little bit of a bad season as you're older, they ask you if you're retiring.
Okay.
You know, that's what this is about. If they were having a great year, nobody would ask them. Ooh.
I got to tell you, Corey, I thought
might have been contact.
You got to find the ball before you make the contact, Corey.
I tell you this.
What's that?
Coach talked about it in our first game. For big guys, you got to be. Your fouls have to be smart fouls.
Yeah.
That wasn't a smart foul from Norchad Omier, especially the fact that gives him his third. Now he has to come take a break. But he was frustrated over the fact that he didn't get the call on the previous possession and took it out on Jaeden Zackery.
Nwoko comes in to replace him. Michael, by the way, 6'10" freshman from Toronto. 10 to shoot. We're almost halfway through half number 2, and here's Post rerouting inside and scoring.
But Quinten Post took a second to see if a double team was coming, and when he didn't.
And that's where he's different now. He makes that play. Last year or year before, he didn't make that play. He's gotten much, much better.
Post averaged 21 points in the 2 regular season games against Miami. He's got 25, and we're halfway through half number. Baseball coming up this weekend, presented by Auto Owners Insurance. Saturday, Davenport Field. You know it, Corey. Charlottesville.
Been there many a times watching Coach O'Connor and the Who's on the baseball field.
Get ready. Deacons and Cavaliers getting ready to go at it Saturday at 4 on ACC Network. Speaking of baseball, here's Norchad Omier, Coach.
Yeah, he was skinny as can be back then. Boy, no wonder he played baseball.
Tell you what, takes me back to my days, WD.
Oh, no.
The middle infielder.
Wait, what?
No, we're good, Corey. We got the game.
No.
We got the game right here.
Takes me back to my middle infield days.
Everybody going back hit 600 when they were playing baseball.
Only 500 for me, Coach.
Oh, 5. Okay. My son said he hit 727 in the 8th grade. I said no. No, you didn't.
We got Post on the rebound here, by the way. We can get back to your baseball lore later. Here's Zackery inside. Look at Post the catch.
Ooh. See, you just talk about him and he messes it up. Leave him alone.
He lost it over the end line. 25 and 10 tonight for Quinten Post. By the way, the opening day is March 28th for you baseball guys.
Well, I gave up baseball in my sophomore year in high school.
Oh, boy.
However, I still am an elite level softball player.
Oh, my God.
As a matter of fact, I've won an MVP at every celebrity softball tournament I've been in.
Oh, my God, my back is hurting.
Wow.
Your back hurting there from tapping it? Oh, my gosh.
Out in the corner, here's Pack. A 3. 18 for Nijel Pack. He's had 3 games of 20 or more against the ACC, including 20 in early February against Carolina.
And a necessary bucket to make this a 12-point game, but Miami went through a stretch where they were getting stops, got it to 10 points, but never able to get it into single digits. Time is not on their side. They've got to make a push now.
Taken away by Pack on post drive. He's got a 3-on-2. Lob, and Nwoko taps it home.
That's what happens with Post down there. When postmen dribble from that far out, little guys get steals.
Joseph trying to tighten up on Madsen. Now here's George defending Zackery.
Oh, you got to call that. Come on.
Here's Post setting a high screen. Zackery with 10 to shoot. Madsen, he's been a problem. Skip into the corner, a league base sets. Missed everything.
Ooh, another stop. Chance for Miami to get this under 10.
Prince of League Bay couldn't finish. Nwoko can, and a foul on Boston College.
What the Hurricanes were unable to do earlier in the half, now they've done an 8-point game, an opportunity to make it 7, and they're doing it off their defense. Matthew Cleveland finding Nwoko running down the middle of the floor. Great hands by the big fella, and just a little slight flex. Just get off it.
First time in since it was under 5 to go in the first half when BC had its lead cut to 8 at 34-26. Miami's got it to 8 again now with 8:04 to play in the game.
And as we've said all year, basketball is a game of runs, and this is Miami's run, and they're going to be back in the game, and there's still plenty of time left.
Free throw, Nwoko bounces out. He's now 11 of 18 at the line this year, but he scored 4 in a row for Miami. It's a 7-0 run. And Boston College, who has handled this first-round game pretty well so far, playing with a lot of poise, too, guys.
They absolutely are playing, and that energy level has just picked up so much. It's amazing the way their offense has inspired their defense.
Here's Post the catch. Harris sets for 3, and it's off. It'll spin out. McLaughlin taps it home.
But those are the type of plays that hurt you in the midst of a comeback, not securing the defensive rebound.
10 for McLaughlin.
That's where Post should have just scored in there, too.
Joseph tried to lob it, turned away by Post.
Post has made some good defensive plays today.
Zackery back for the trailing 3. The big fella knocks it down.
Coach, you mentioned his defensive plays. That's why he was all defensive team in the ACC. But on the other end, caps it off, knocking down the 3 ball at the top of the key. It's the reason why he's a second-team All-ACC performer this year.
They're going back and forth. Miami had a run where they'd hit on a 7-0 take. Michael Nwoko is the guy who was driving it for the Canes when we continue.
Get the coins, yeah. Wow, Gianna, you win! Yeah.
He has got 28 points. He's 9 of 15 from the floor, 3 of 6 from 3. He's got 10 rebounds.
Inside.
And along the way, Coach Boeheim, he has produced the 3rd highest scoring output ever by a BC Eagle in the ACC tournament.
Well, he's doing it inside and out. You know, he's complete game, defensive game, everything has been good.
Omier scoots through and scores.
Omier's been good, too, down there. He just hasn't gotten it enough, I don't think.
14 for Norchad on his 6th field goal. Post falls behind Olivier Hanlon and Tyrese Rice.
Elsie Byrd High School, Richmond, Virginia, which is not in the DMV, Coach, by the way.
41 for Hanlon in 2013 against Georgia Tech. 32 for Rice in 2007 against Miami, ironically, in a quarterfinal game.
WD, what year was that with Olivier Hanlon?
2013.
Was that the same year that Harrison Barnes went for 40?
That is correct.
Okay, I thought so.
Yeah. There's a Donald Hand Jr. field goal, his 2nd of the ball game. He's got 5.
To the delight of his dad, watching from behind the Boston College bench.
No, I beg your pardon, Corey. I'm wrong. Harrison Barnes was 2011.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was there to witness both of them. Just wasn't sure if they were at the same time.
Yeah, Harrison Barnes, by the way, that was a semifinal game against Clemson when he had 40 for the Tar Heels. That's the record that R.J. Davis surpassed. In the Tar Heels. Here's Pack, Cleveland, George thought about it. McLaughlin closes with 5.5 to go, and Boston College up 13. Joseph trying to cut into it.
I don't think he realizes that he isn't making those shots today.
Harris the rebound, and BC now we're going to walk it into the front court as we go inside 5 and change to go here. Earl Grant in his 3rd ACC tournament trying to notch his 4th win in this event. And Zackery fell as he delivered a bounce pass to nobody. That ball just, spot was vacated, and Jaeden had his mind made up that he was going to cut it loose.
Well, Jay-Z been very short-handed with the basketball throughout this season, close to a 3-to-1 assist-to-turnover ratio, expecting for one of his teammates to be in the corner to space the floor. However, the corner had been vacated.
Yep. Joseph. Cleveland now Pack on the wraparound. And a whistling foul. Ted Valentine off the left baseline, and Donald Hand Jr.'s third foul. It's the fourth on Boston College. Don't forget, more ACC softball coming up for you tomorrow night, 7 o'clock. Remember, tournament action moves over to ESPN and ESPN2, and that'll pave the way for number 15 Alabama and number 18 Florida State from Tallahassee. Right here on ACCN, streaming live for you on the ESPN app. Cleveland working against Hand. Foul line, Omier. Got it. Norchad Omier was 16 now, Corey.
But nice play by Omier getting to the free throw line as he saw Quinten Post drop down and help. With Cleveland having a slight size advantage over Donald Hand Jr. in the post.
11-point lead for the Eagles. Post with Nwoko there. Ooh. Splits the double, kicks for Harris, standing three, spins out, and they scramble for it. Post has got it, rips it away from Pack.
Ripped his hand away.
But this has been a great offensive possession for Post. He handles the double team, gets his teammate a great shot, and then off the miss comes up with the offensive rebound.
McLaughlin, lob for Post, in tight, up strong.
Wow. Wait a minute.
No whistle. BC bench not happy. Here's Pack. Bensley Joseph. Long three. Post kept it alive. And finally, here's Hand. Donald Hand Jr. the layup. Fell off the rim. McLaughlin the rebound.
Is anybody's whistle working or no? They just stopped. Holy cow.
Well, it only took a game and 3 quarters, WD, but there it is.
Yep, we finally got it.
Well, you got to call what you see, don't you? Come on.
3.5 to go. 3 to shoot. Harris tees it up. Got it. Claudell Harris Jr. has got 3 triples.
That's gameplay.
And that one on the banks of the Potomac, Corey, and that'll send them to the exits here at Capital One Arena.
But you got to give the Eagles a lot of credit. Every time Miami has made it a game and cut it down under 10, the Eagles have had a response.
You ever been to the Watergate Hotel? Because that's where Claudell Harris is standing when he cut that loose. Back after this. And man, the national champs, Joe Barry, Carlos Boozer, Luke Hancock.
Booze and Luke getting the makeup, and we caught you on national TV doing it.
And the hardest working person at the ACC network, Kelsey Riggs.
I tell you what.
Following the game here tonight.
Shout out to my guy, Joe Barry.
Yep.
He got his makeup done off camera.
Rattled out 3 from Wooga Poplar. Still no record of who shot what yesterday at Congressional, by the way.
No, it'll come up later.
All right.
It's going to come up later.
Are you doing your typical drive-by tonight for nothing but net?
No.
Okay, just checking.
No.
I'm going back for extra work. I'm still in training.
Here's McLaughlin. Madsen on the drive, and a kick for Hand. Back from Madsen, and a 3-ball that's tapped home by Post.
A 30-piece.
Once again, Boston College sharing the basketball extremely well. Donald Hand turned down a good shot to get a great shot.
Omier launching. It'll bound away. The rebound for Harris. The BC lead is 16 and a foul on Miami. Well, Brad Brownell's staff is on the inline down to our left, or right rather, at the west end of the building. Getting the full look at Boston College, the Clemson Tigers, who beat BC in their only regular season meeting in mid-January by 11 points. But, Corey, you remember that game? That was the one that BC had a stomach bug moving through the roster. 4 or 5 guys missed that game that day.
Yeah, and how about the potential matchup between Quinten Post
and PJ Hall?
Yeah. And never forget about the ACC's most improved player, Ian Shefflin.
Yep.
That front line for the Clemson Tigers is a special one.
Yep. Both teams like to shoot the three as well.
Okay, get up. Get up, nephew.
There you go. Donald Hand Jr.'s got 7.
And there's my little brother. There's Donald. Now, here's the record. We talk about getting in trouble.
Yeah.
Donald Hand's from Jersey. He got that Yankee fitted on. That's going to be a problem when everybody sees it.
Omier knocks down the dunk. Norchad Omier's got 18 tonight on his 8th field goal. Mason Madsen trying to get across the timeline. There'll be a foul on.
There were a lot of fouls on that.
Bensley Joseph. And Donald Hand Jr., of course, and Donald Hand Sr. And a look at Jr. here. Splits the double team, Corey.
Won a state championship at Lansdowne High School as a freshman. As you see his pops excited about it. And he's a North Jersey guy, so he may be able to get away with the Yankee fitted on.
Well, his dad played in 4 ACC tournament games for Virginia, 98 to 2001. He averaged 10 points in this event and hit 50% of his threes in his Virginia career at the ACC tournament, did Donald Hand Sr. Wearing number 13 for the Wahoos.
Yeah.
He's excited tonight about his young man's performance.
As he should be.
Yep.
As he should be.
Yep. Well, Jim Larrañaga has taken Omier out of the ball game, and Matthew Cleveland, and Wooga Poplar, I think. These guys seeing the campaign come to a close.
I don't think anyone would have picked the Miami Hurricanes to be the team that ends their season losing 10 straight games.
Right.
But I can tell you this will be something that will motivate Jim Larrañaga the entire offseason. I expect the Canes to be back in full effect next season.
Claudell Harris with a dozen. Final 42 seconds here from Washington. So Boston College will move on to meet the 6th seed Clemson tomorrow. And Abe Ataya. Beg your pardon, Ja'Kai Robinson knocked it down over Ataya. That's his first 3 of the year. And Earl Grant just going to dribble this out.
Good performance. Boston College. Post was really good inside.
Yep.
Zackery, they played a tremendous game. Miami's just had too many ups and downs, too many injuries this year. And they're missing the 2 key guys from last year big time.
Yep. Canes season will be 2 below 500, Corey, at 15 and 17.
Well, and again, the injuries plagued them. However, I believe the internal leadership, you know, the best teams are player-led teams.
Yep.
We know that Jim Larrañaga is a great coach. However, I don't think they had the same locker room that they've had the last 2 seasons.
Earl Grant goes to 4-2 in 6 ACC tournament games. BC now 18 and 14 as the Eagles win 81 to 65.